we are live, Wendy. Hey. I'm sitting here as I'm watching the intro going, how am I going to match this lady's energy? What do I need to do? Get up, do some jumping jacks, do something.
Well, here's one way to do it. You sit on a ball.
There you go. I actually have one in my office.
I don't sit on one at home when I'm going live because of what you're going to experience today.
Yes.
I'm bad enough on my stool I have a little half active sitting cushion that's kind of like a little inflatable circle. Yeah. So I can only bounce so much. I can't bounce this much. So I'm going to have to really kind of hold myself back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we already have some hellos. So real quick, hello, Gretchen and Shree and Kristen. This is so cool. And anybody else who's there, just for anybody who's new, is we don't know you're here unless you make a comment. So, hey, Jay, hi, from Nebraska. We don't know you're here unless you say hello. You can say where you're at. You can interact with each other, ask questions. By all means, please, let's make this as interactive as possible. That's the point. And I've been so excited to have Wendy on. I say this every week. I connect with such amazing people on LinkedIn. And hey, Faith. So passing the buck on to you, Wendy. Who's Wendy?
Hey, happier, healthier humans. Well, when it asked me to put my name in, it suggested that I write Yahoo because I do that Friday Yay Day social shindig, which I hope you'll join me at. I'm Wendy S. Wiseman of Wiseman Integrative, home of happier, healthier humans, taming the tensions of modern living with simple strategies, terrific tips, and I go live daily with short sessions that are multicast across platform that you can go catch at the YouTube channel. And I'm all about keeping healthy simple because healthy doesn't have to be complicated, but we make it that way. We got to change our clothes and go to the gym and get this special thing and do this and whatever excuses and other fancy gadgets and things that we make up that we then use as excuses to not breathe or move.
I know when I see you on video, and you're on video every day. I mean, I don't know if there's a day you don't go live. Do you go live every day or do you take a day off?
I'm doing every day this year. I was pretty much every day before that in the afternoons with the dog walks, but I'm intentionally doing daily live broadcasts, which aren't always live. Occasionally they will be recorded, but I go live pretty much every day and I have been for quite some time. So I get better and better all the time.
And I think it's on Instagram, maybe other places too, where you're walking your dog and you always say, hello, happier, healthier humans. And I love it. It's just like, hi, Wendy, I'm a happier, healthier human.
It's turned into kind of a little theme song of my own, my own intro without the hello, 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 happier, healthier humans. And on Wednesdays,
that's what I hear almost every day.
On Wednesday, it's Wonderful Wellness Wednesday with Wendy, the wise way. I'm really fond of alliteration and words.
You are, and you're good at them.
I'm a writer, and
you are such an inspiration.
Thank you.
So tell us. So since this is what's your story, and I love sharing stories, good, bad, and ugly. Share a story. What's a story that impacted you and got you to where you are today?
I have so many stories.
I know. So pick one.
So many stories. The books are being written in here so far. They'll be coming. But there are a lot of stories. But what really brought about happier, healthier humans is I left San Francisco and moved in with a friend here in Sacramento where I knew nobody, but a friend had bought a house, and I'd lost my client base to San Francisco, and I'd lost my studio and blah, blah, blah. So it was time to move. And I moved in with him, and it turned out that he was addicted to meth and morphine. And, it was kind of a depressing situation on top of depression, layers and layers of depression.
Sure.
And thankfully, I was healthy enough to not have to check myself in for 72-hour hold like his 3 previous tenants had. because although he called himself a critical thinker, he was really just critical and avoiding looking within. So I did a lot of walking, but I also was too depressed to do manual therapy, massage and body work, or to work with people in that way. So I was driving a paratransit bus, and I got up to like 200 pounds, over 200 pounds. So I was over 60 pounds overweight. And the arthritis in my hand was so bad that I couldn't do my ponytail or fasten my pants sometimes to get them off to the bathroom. That's kind of inconvenient. Or
A
just,
little. I don't want to know more of that story, but go ahead.
right? Your knee gives out when you're trying to stand up. It's, and I wasn't even 50 yet. So, I was like, I got to get through this. I'm resilient. For previous years, I'd been depressed, but living in the glitter and being other people's entertainment. And that was keeping me going, but I wasn't well or happy, and that happens a lot as we see from the smiling faces of the stars that we've lost, that go around in those memes. So, I realized that I was on the path for like pancreatic cancer and, disability, as in not able to move more than I had limited range of motion in my neck, and I was falling apart, and I wasn't even 50. And I was fed up with the feel old frustrations, and I didn't like the gym. I got a gym membership, paid a lot to not go there really. But I started walking. I just started walking and started making simple little changes. And I committed to being happier and healthier every year up to and after 50. And I'm coming to 55 this year. And it's important to recognize that I say happier and healthier, not healthy people, right?
Right.
It's about doing the best we can with what we've got. Resilience and bringing the joy and being happier in the moments that maybe aren't so pretty, because life's an adventure, and adventures aren't always pretty. You go through the muck, the swamp, this, that, the other, you get stuck in the bog, right? You're filthy, dirty, you smell horrible, but man, it's awesome, right?
Well, it's a journey, right?
It's a journey. And then you get back to the retreat, to the lodge, and you have the fancy meal. But, it wasn't always easy being on that boat out there, right? But, but man, what an incredible experience and adventure when you come through and you go, wow. And that's part of all of the stories that I have too, as you will see them, unfold on the various channels, and as my books come out and whatever, this is life. Each and every one of us has our stories. That's why you do this show, right? What's your story? We all have so many incredible stories, and that's how we become who we are today.
Yeah. And there are some stories I look back when I was in them, like, yes, I'm in the swamp, I'm dirty, I'm sweaty, I really smell, not happy, right? But I look back on them, and that's what's made me a stronger human today, a more compassionate human today. I give more grace. So, not that I'm going to jump up and down and say, yay, I'm glad I went through it. Right. However, I'm glad I went through it, and I'm at the other side for sure.
None of us are happy about the last 2 years, but a lot of amazing stuff has come out of it. A lot of, it's not been easy. And most of us would gladly trade it for something else, but there is beauty. It is the lotus rising from the muck, right?
Yeah. And there were some positive things in COVID too, right? I mean, my daughter got married during COVID at my home, and it was the most beautiful ceremony. We were only supposed to have 12 people in gatherings because we were in California, right? So I think there was right in the beginning of COVID, we weren't allowed to have more than 12 people in our home at any one time. And so I'm going to say it now. I don't think I'm going to get arrested. And most of the people on this, I'm looking at all the comments, so you can say hi to people. No, I'm not a rule follower. So we snuck in people, had them park away from my house, and we had 20 people in my house for my daughter's wedding. But by far was the most beautiful thing we've ever experienced. And we wouldn't have done that if it was COVID. We would have spent $50,000 and had 80 people or 100 people at the wedding.
Tons of people, you wouldn't have had the same quality time and connections, right? It's really
Absolutely.
fascinating, isn't it, that by being pulled apart and separated, we've come back and found deeper connections and other ways of creating connections that we
Right.
just, busy life through and glazed over and missed
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. But would I want to do it again? No. I mean, I
No,
wouldn't sign up
no.
to go
We
through this
usually
again.
don't want to do it again. It's like these people that have climbed the mountains or crossed the Arctic tundras and whatever, and you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
You just have to keep going. Maybe you're going to lose a toe or something. You have to keep going. Uh,
Yeah. Yes. Well, yes. So really, this is a great place to say hi to everybody. I mean, we have Gretchen and we've got some of my clients and so hi everybody. Shri, I did not know you were in Houston. I lived in Spring for 5 years,
Trevor,
growing a business in Houston. Trevor, thank you for
D,
showing up.
Kristen.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Can you tell my
we
computer's down here?
Yeah. So please feel free to interact with each other. Please feel free to shout out a question for Wendy if you've got one. I know you've got some, so don't be shy. Please go ahead. I will keep an eye on the comments.
So
Um,
I was telling Tanya that as I was driving here today, I realized that I've pretty much been a movement health coach since 1988 when I started discovering dance and movement and body work. I'd been in high school sports and interested in athletic training and physical training and stuff. But I was an artist. I entered the School of Art instead, and that pulled me into the School of Dance, where I started learning about lots of body work and
yeah,
teaching and improvising and performing in 88 and beyond. And then
yeah,
since we're here in this office, I'll share this story. People often ask, when did I start doing the body work? And that's when I started, through dance training and somatic education and exploration and learning about this wonderful organism that is our body being. Because we aren't just a bag of parts. We are each individually a collective. It's incredible. Bioelectric, energetic, crystalline water matrix. Woo, it's fascinating. So,
yes,
but it was 9/11 that really spurred me to get my credentials. And I have a whole array of certificates up here. I got my credentials because 9/11, I was in Manhattan. I was in New York City. I was not allowed to provide services for the first responders because I did not have credentials. So I
that's
worked with some of
interesting.
my friends and things. I was an amateur body worker.
Mm-hmm.
I found the loophole. I could have gone online and gotten registered as a reverend. And then, because of New York laws, I would have been able to lay hands.
Got it.
But, that's the loophole. Anyhow, after that, I went and got my credentials.
Yeah.
There's arrays of them, and I've got loads of certificates and certifications. And after the weight gain and the starting to fall apart and wanting to live my vibrant life being with active, independent longevity, and deciding to make these changes without dieting, without gyms, without all of the stuff of
Yep.
fitness and health, that isn't for everybody. Some people, great. Yeah, it's awesome, but it's not
Yep.
for everybody. I like nature. I
Yeah,
like being
me too. I
outside.
love walking. I
Play.
think you, yes. So nature walking, I think you saw my mom and I and my daughter and my son-in-law, they ran a marathon, a half marathon, and my mom and I did a
Mhm.
5K. And I love being outside. I actually love kayaking too. Real quick, Trevor says, where are you, Wendy? So Trevor, she's in Sacramento, so she's right between in the middle of us.
I'm
I'm
in
pretty sure
Folsom.
Trevor's like in the
I'm right
Washington
near
State.
Folsom Prison right now.
Go. There's a song.
That's
So
right.
sorry, I
My
interrupted.
middle name is Sue. I'm kind of a boy named Sue too.
Yeah. So Gretchen had a comment I'm kind of reading it a little bit late. So I think the context was what we were talking about, what we've been going through, through COVID and now getting the other side, that a lot of people made a lot of personal changes during that time. I know I did, some positive, some not so positive. I'm not one of the humans that got into excellent shape over COVID. I went into the opposite direction. So now I am getting back into shape. However, I made some really good business decisions, and taking care of myself that way. So how about you, Wendy? What's a good thing that's come out of COVID for you?
Just once again, proof that, that I am strong. It was right before COVID. It was February of 2020 when I posted on Facebook, like, "Dear universe, I can't take much more. My mom's cancer diagnosis said, my mom's cancer was back." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I can't take much more." And then, of course, in March, we know what happened. And obviously, I could take much more. And then I lost my mother that year. And then just this past year, I lost my father. And on the day I was packing for his funeral, my car got repossessed. And I've barely been hanging on. And this was, 5 years of financial recovery was destroyed, but I survived. I
Yeah.
survived. I
Yeah.
found a way through. I found a new community in all of you. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hi,
Lincoln
whoever
has been
that
super
was from
incredible.
Ohio. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm a Buckeye. Yes, I'm a poisonous nut.
So I really screwed up. So I answered a question that was meant for you, and I screwed up the answer. So now I'm going to shut up and let you answer Trevor's question. Where are you? He didn't want to know what state you're at. He wants to know what room you're in.
What room I'm in?
He says it looks like you're in a doctor's office.
I am at Wiseman Integrative. It's my office.
It's really cool.
It is. I could almost give you a tour. I know you can't see it. Relief results. It is kind of like a doctor's office because, I do neuromuscular therapy and myofascial therapies. There's muscles of the foot. I've got all kinds of things. Don't get me started. We'll be on here for hours.
So what's your favorite? So aside of all the things you do to help us be happier, healthier humans, what's your favorite?
Play and laughter. Play is the original way that we work it out, right? That's how we learn. That's how animals learn. It's how we release. We let go. We assimilate, readjust, and play. Making it fun, keeping it simple, making it fun, laughing at myself and, my dysfunctions and my mistakes and failing forward,
Yeah.
It's the constant reminders. We're here to remind one another to keep it light, to play, that it's not so heavy, that we're all in this together, that yes, we're all alone and we're all individual, but we are also all collective. We're part of a bigger whole. That's why together, my thing is creating a better world together as happier, healthier humans, or together as happier, healthier humans, we create a better world. It begins within, keeping it light, generating the joy, radiating the light, making the magic happen, because we're all connected globally in these strands of energy. There's the butterfly flaps its wings and all of these things that, this isn't new and it's not all woo woo, otherwise we would have been around for thousands of years, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, Sandra, glad you're on, taking a break. I have missed you on LinkedIn. So glad to see you. Thanks for popping in. So what else? Before I want to get some more questions in, so please start throwing some questions in the chat for Wendy. What else? What you said you have tons of stories, right? And you and I were actually chatting, and I realized it was 4:00 and we had to stop chatting. What else would you like to hopefully impact people with?
Well, right now, as you know, you might not know, I'm creating the tension taming toolbox, but it wasn't the tension taming toolbox. It was the tension taming toolbox tribe, which is why I'm now calling it the T3 Community Collective, because it's about the community. It's not about the tools. It's not about a bunch of courses. It's about coming together to work through what we're going through and learning to use these tools for relieving tension and remind one another and support one another and be together as happier, healthier humans, becoming happier, healthier humans, spreading and building this community collective I'm founding until it is a foundation. That is part of the dream, the journey, where this vision that I'm getting better at talking about so that you can all understand what it is and what I'm doing, because that's been very murky over the past year. I removed the tribe branding out of respect for indigenous cultures when I found out that it was no longer a trending to use the word tribe. So I removed that, and it caused this kind of like roller coaster of now it's just a toolbox, a thing that sits in the corner. And eventually
It's
it's going
important
to
to have tools to get through life, right? I have
it
certain
is.
tools, right? So I have tools from my coaching business. I have coaching tools because I have certifications on my wall, and they've all given me phenomenal tools to share and work on with my clients. So I'm glad you've got tools. So how do people find you? How do people join your community?
Talk to me.
Where
You
do they
can go
talk
to
to you? Do they look for you on LinkedIn, Facebook? Where do they find you?
everywhere you look.
Okay.
No, you can start by going to start.tamingyourtension.com, and you can download the 12 terrific tips for taming your tension infographic that I made a while ago. And then that will also take you to the community, to the public area.
Okay.
That is, you can find me on LinkedIn at Happier, Healthier Humans. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not really there on those platforms much, but you can find me there, and you can reach me on whatever platform you prefer. And you can watch all of my replays from the daily lives we were talking about a little while ago on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/at, can you guess? Taming Your Tension.
Tensions. So it's going to be easy to find you. Yeah.
There's also a channel at youtube.com/at Happier, Healthier Humans. So
Cool.
we're growing things here. And I love to talk to people. So yeah, just reach out, find a way, and calendly.com/taming your tension.
Tensions. So do you sleep?
I do. In fact, now that I'm approaching 55, sleep is something that I prioritize. I must get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep to carry on. So it's frustrating to me that my progress gets slowed because I can't do the hustle thing, stay up all night and work on this stuff. I get a lot done, but I also feel like I'm not getting as much done as I want because I can't stay up late. I can't stay on my device until 10. I have to shut down a few hours earlier. I have to do my transitions to get the quality sleep to restore my body being so that I can function and do all these fabulous things and help you all with taming your tension.
Right. And lead by example. Right.
That's right. Because if you've been watching me on these channels, you know it has not been easy. You've seen me cry. You see the struggle, and you see me get through. And some people are like, Wendy, how do you keep yourself grounded? How are you still? And I'm like, the toolbox. It's having the tension taming tools at your disposal, but also knowing how to use them and being practiced in the use so that when the troubling times come, boom, you have them at your disposal. You're not like, oh, there's that tool somewhere that I heard about, but now that I need it, I don't know where it is or how to use it. Right. That's why we practice.
Yep. Absolutely. Yes. And bettering our craft. Right. I am one of my strongest values is learning. And so I am, committed to bettering my craft and sharpening my tools because they can get a little dull if I don't use a specific one. So bettering our craft is so important. That's why that's why I high five, I'm high fiving you this way. Right. Let's see what else we got in comments. So Sandra, all about to sleep.
Yes.
Jamie's from Chicago.
That's right, Chicago.
And
Yay Day. Those are two of my regulars on Yay Day, Friday nights at -8 UTC GMT, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. Join us. It's a social shindig where we celebrate things we share things that we've seen because there's too much for us to keep up with, right? So we want to highlight things that we think other people should see, such as this show.
Yep. And I've been on your Friday Yay Day. Typically I start to wind down, and then one day I was on LinkedIn and I see it, and I think Gretchen was on that day.
That
I
was
don't
a
know if
big
Gretchen
one.
is still here, but you had, and I was fun. It was really a fun way to end the week.
That's what it's about. Decompress, taming your tension, decompressing, a little social stress soothing because
Yes.
social
Hey, Georgia.
engagement is good for
Yeah.
soothing your stress.
Yeah.
Where in
Absolutely.
Ohio? I'm from Dayton.
Yep.
Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So
So
the
Jamie's
wise
joining
way.
me next week. Jamie, I'm pretty sure, but I'll confirm. But yes, and anybody, if any, and Gretchen says I'm here. Yes, if you're interested on going live with Wendy or going live with me, we both have our own calendars and happy to have that happen. So don't be shy. All right, Wendy. I always ask a couple questions, and you've already given us a sneak peek into one of my always questions is what's your next chapter? Do you want to build on that a little bit more? What's your next chapter you want to write?
In which book?
Okay, you get to pick. No one has ever said that to me. Okay, so you pick the book.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, there are many books, there are many strands, there are many threads in this tapestry that is me. But right now, the next chapter is really creating the T3 Community Collective to be a thriving community and a collective of coaches with different specialties, a place where we can gather free from social media. And I just really want to build that to the point that I can then create the foundation to support other people that like me now who are struggling to help others. So
Right.
helpers helping helpers to help helpers helping helpers.
Yeah, well, it's that ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
It's giving back and then just letting that ripple through, which is something that I love experiencing. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Well,
it was
I'd love
maybe.
to work with any of you.
Yep. All right. Last question. And again, doesn't mean we're going to end right away, but last question is when you aren't feeling up, right? Times you've gotten on and you've been super emotional, times where the day just, whatever it is, bad news, hormones, whatever's gotten you feeling down. What do you do to help that emotional resilience, taming your tensions? What's your favorite tool?
Well, if I was at home, I'd say Max, and he would come and lick my face. You've seen it in the videos, right? But so
Dogs are so good at that.
Even just thinking about him brings me joy and happiness. You could probably see that just watching that. But and you can't always breathe deeply. It can be really hard. I work with some clients like this. It's like, I can't breathe. I can't meditate. I can't be mindful. I'm like, well, then do some angry dancing, go outside, So for me, it's really nature and movement and moving in nature, ideally barefoot and grounding, literally reconnecting to the earth energies that we're all connected to and shutting ourselves off from. Yeah. So when we reconnect to our body being with movement, that provides feedback to your central processing unit. When you move, it lets your body being know where you are being and how you are being so that it can, in its infinite wisdom, start making the adjustments so that you can be better.
Yeah. Yes. And I love dog therapy. And I know Gretchen loves dog therapy. And I know Sandra loves dog therapy. And I don't know if Jay's still on the call, but I know he has a dog. And I know Karen has a dog. Yeah, I know when I'm down, Charlie, my dog is Charlie. I know Charlie always comes and puts his head on my lap or if I'm sitting up on my, in my chair, he jumps up behind me and like kind of nuzzles, and my back is nice and warm. Yeah. They know.
Yeah.
They know. Yeah. And Teresa's into pet therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a coffee chat with Kristen the other day, right? And we were talking about this, and someone had told her that whenever her dog moves, to move. And I actually told some of my clients that today. I was like, you've got kids, when they move, right? Use that as a cue that reminds you to move. Because one of the things I talk about is my clients come and they're like, I hold on my stress. I'm like, stop holding it. Dogs do zoomies, right? Let it out. Zoomies.
Yes.
We learn so much from our.
Oh, that's your next LinkedIn post. Human zoomies.
Human zoomy zooms. That's
yeah. That's now I know when Charlie gets the zoomies. He's letting it out, or that means I haven't walked him enough, right? So
Stress.
Karen has a question, and it says, is it possible to recover from lack of motion, range of motion, when someone starts moving more?
Absolutely. I mean, I have people that are like, I haven't been able to move my shoulder like that ever, but it all depends on, what's going on. And often our expectations are grander than the the speed or the ability. So it might not get where you want it to go, and it probably won't get there as fast as you want it to. So most of the work, as anyone will tell you, is right here. It's the mindset, it's the outlook, it's the approach, it's the perspective, it's our beliefs, it's our minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, there is incredible recovery. If you join Lydia's presentation this Saturday about her pain journey and recovery, astounding. I mean, there are people, your nerves can regenerate very, very slowly. Fascia can take up to 2 years. Muscle moves more quickly. You can tell that by going to the gym for a few weeks if you do, build the muscle, focus on it. But our bodies are incredibly resilient as long as our brains don't get in the way.
Yep. So I've been spending a couple of hours the last couple of days listening to one of Tony Robbins' events. In fact, Karen is on the call on here right now, and she's the one that turned me on to it. And he has a guest to come on, and before he starts to speak, he has a guest come on, and I don't remember his name. Karen, if you remember it or if you've seen it, you can pop it into the chat. But he talks about, especially for people like me, where I could be sitting for 7 hours in a day. If I have 5 coach calls, that's, probably at least 7 hours sitting in a chair. And so he's getting up and having us move and do some exercises. And the importance of, which I so resonate with, and you will too, is when our bodies hurt, right? Everything just starts to go backwards. Our mindset, our work, we get overwhelmed. And I was on a coach call the other day where a client just had shoulder surgery. I'm going to say that 10 times fast. Shoulder surgery. And he was really down and overwhelmed, and his spinning plates at work. And it so resonated. Well, his body's in pain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Emotional pain, stress, mental pain, physical pain. Grief can actually give you physical pain. It can actually reflect in your body as a physical syndrome, which is why the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with you sometimes, because it's not actually something wrong with a part that they can point at. Yeah. So it's important to keep.
It's not going to show up in a blood test.
Whole body being, what we eat, who we're around, the environment we're in. Are we under power lines? Are we constantly thinking things, is your face formed like this, or are you constantly just slumped forward by, but then when we're in pain, we think we should stop moving because it hurts. And then when we stop moving, it hurts to move, and then we can't move, and then we're in more pain. And it's this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about movement, it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be
unless you're Wendy.
There's movement in stillness. If you just hold still and bring your awareness and your attention to the movement, there's life requires movement. You have to cell at a cellular level. There must be movement for life, beyond just our respiration and our circulation. So it's not all about exercise. It's about life. And slowing down and tuning in.
Yes, I love the slowing down, because you're rapid. I'm not quite as rapid as you are, but I still am faster, right? I am not slow, methodical, none of this is negative. It's just because I think fast, talk fast. I have a coach who's like, Tanya, when was the last time you just sat with your thoughts for 5 minutes? I'm like,
journal.
Yeah. When did you slow down and just breathe 3 or 4 times? Right. Yeah. So yes, it's so important.
Why do you think those are the 3 keys that I talk about in everything I do? They've turned into the 3 keys. Somewhere last year, it became the 3 keys, because they're with you all the time, anywhere, no matter what you're doing.
Okay. Share the 3 keys, because I know it's going to be a question.
Breathe.
Yep.
Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. That stimulates the relaxation response. Breathe in, opening, allowing, expanding. Breathe out, releasing, letting go. Like the tide, the ocean, it lifts up the particles of sand and then it comes out and they're redeposited. So you're refreshing, renewing, revitalizing. That's key one. And most likely that will bring you to key two, smile. That also releases endorphins. I can feel it up the back of my neck. And key three is enjoy. You can bring the joy. Think about something you love, someone you love, some memory, some place, something that brings you joy. Max, my boy, my joy boy, oh, the mountains. Oh, I can feel. Can you feel it? When you think about someone you love or something that just makes you somewhere that you went that made you feel fabulous, you can make that energy. And those three keys are with you no matter where you are. You don't have to have anything else with you. You don't have to be able to move. Maybe, you're in a full body cast.
Yeah.
You can still breathe. And even if you can't move your face, you can think about smiling. You can think about being in nature when you can't be in nature.
Yeah.
So these are the three keys.
Yeah. So Karen made a comment about, thank you for sharing. So a couple of things, Wendy, when this recording, gets recording, whatever, it magically records and then it goes to all the sites. Go in and put your three keys in and your start dot, how people can find you for that infographic. Type that in there. Yes. Yeah. And Karen, I'm just going to say set boundaries to my, beautiful friend who is so giving, right? Is setting boundaries. Or call me. And we'll talk. Yes, and I love what Teresa says. A great way to fill your positive reservoir. Yes, especially if the reservoir is getting empty.
And that's something that, came out of when you can't necessarily be with the people you love. You can be with you have them within you.
Yes.
You're always connected. Even if they're not here anymore in the physical plane. Right.
Oh, I so believe that. I talked to my grandmother's been gone a long time. And when I do finally sit and get quiet and breathe, I can actually access her and, ask her, what do you want me to know about this struggle? And I know her advice. I can hear her. And okay, so yes, I said that on video, but I do. I can connect with her. Yeah, I can. But I have to be in a quiet place to do that. It's not like this, right? It is getting to that heart space.
It is opening these different levels that we've lost touch with. There's different planes of our existence that we're no longer in tune with, either because of the radio frequencies and interference that we've created with our technology or because of the belief interference or whatever. We've lost touch with so much of our innate wisdom.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. I like that. I like what you just said, right? We get all the distractions and interference, and yes, it could be our phone, it could be TikTok, and it could be our own thoughts. And yeah, we got to flip the switch, turn those off.
Yes. And we've got to flip the switch here pretty soon because
we do, because I know you have a client and we're way over. I knew we'd go over. So yay.
I know. I was about to launch into some new thread of that would unravel the sweater even further, which is fascinating.
Well, we just need a part two, right? We need so anybody that I've gone over with, and I know we could go on, and I want to respect everybody's time, your time. And so, yeah, we'll do a part two in a couple months. And I want to hear more about your community and how it's growing. And I want to help you. And I'm sure there's people here too, I know, love you and want to support you and the community. So there we go. All right, everybody. Bye.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So grateful.